Well, hello there, everybody. How are you doing? It is Prosperity Monday. I hope you have a great week of prosperity, uh, which is a good thing. I don't know anyone who can't use more prosperity. So, hey, I'm speaking in abundance over you. And as I hit that button and I hit that thing, I mean, technology, we are all a slave to it. Telling you, it is the truth. All right, I am there as I see myself twice. So, hey, how y'all doing? How was your weekend? Mine was full, Mike and Cindy. I meant to get with y'all yesterday. Wow, things just got packed in, but any case, gonna have Mike and Cindy on. Yeah. Um, been thinking about yeah, anyway, I've got 1,000 thoughts going through my head, and I'm sure you do too. Before I get too far down the road, let me just speak favor over us all because you really need it. I mean, you don't start putting the roof on your house when a hurricane is blowing. You just don't do that. You prepare ahead of time, and so that's why you sow that seed. Speak favor over yourself, speak favor on your body, speak favor your spirit, speak favor over everything. Yeah. And then when the storms come, and they do, they will, you don't have a thing. You sit back, light yourself up a bowl, pour yourself a good one, have some good tea, and you just kind of slide right on through it. So anyway, favor upon us, nothing missing, nothing broken. Hey, Ginger, how you doing? Saw your email and saw your video. You need more subscribers, Lauren. See what we can do. Hello, Rick. How are you? Grace, much love to you. Nina, how are you, sweetie? Gaia, how are you and Paul doing? Good to see you. And Deborah Sloan, how's all of the house? Ariel, Van Tassel, good to see you. Much favor be upon you. And Jules, how are you as well? And Source Frequency, love that. Jackie J, nothing missing, nothing broken. Lost in space. How are you? What is that? Roganano? Just wanted to show you some love and abundance, show you my gratitude. Well, thank you. Thank you. Far out. Receive it. Receive it. Yeah, appreciate that. Retro Roman, what's up? Doomsday Simulation Channel. Good day, everyone. Boy, I'll tell you what, they've been running the simulation, and I don't think they have to do the simulation anymore. I think it's the real deal. Charles, good to see you, brother. Loretta, Emperor Rex, much love to you. Stephen, good to see you as well. Colleen, research buddy, how are you? Rick, how are you doing? Cancer free. All right, buddy. Walking on sunshine. DC, good to see you. Hello, Stephanie. Good to see you, dear Casper. And as I look back there and I can see Gilbert, what's up, brother? Good to see you as well. And wow, I'm going way back. Dave Sullivan, Gilbert, how strange weather there in Colorado, but it always is. Chloe, how are you? How's the crystal cells? All right, Spartan O negative, the hybrids. Yeah. So I want to get right into this because, well, if you're watching this, then they got you. How many are you familiar with the new government implementation called Real ID? Now, many of the states, and this has been coming on for some time, they're just finally saying, well, this is it. And so if you don't have a real ID or equivalent to what they call acceptable authenticated identification, you won't be able to travel in the United States, at least not on air or rail. And I believe this carries over even to bus. So, if you don't have real ID on your state driver's license, passport, etc., well, you won't be getting on a plane. Now, cheers, everyone, by the way. Love that tea. Um, had a conversation this weekend, and it was a sobering one. It was an old friend, and we just shooting the shit, and we got into some things, and this real ID is the real deal. Fed now will be implemented before Trump leaves office, if he leaves office. By the way, here's a little trivia question for you. Um, what is the one thing Donald Trump has never said out in public? What do you know what that is? I'll go on and come back to it, give you time to check it out. Robin, what's up? Good to see you, JK. Hello, Mary Ones. How are you, sweetie? Truth, good to see you. So, um, Fed now. I was working on that, folks, back when I was in the payment industry. We've known for some time it's been coming. Um, if you're not doing all your transactions, either by credit or debit, you're saying, well, I don't interact with that because if you use any of these, everything you do has been analyzed, has been categorized, and has been resold without your permission. But actually, that's not true because if you sign up for that card, you have to read the end user agreement and it's in there. You give consent. Um, Now, a lot of people say, well, I'll just use cash. Don't work anymore. It used to be that only large bills, um, due to counterfeit, because $100 bills are the number one bill that's counterfeited in the world. So, they got creative and, began to embed the money. And now it's even in dominations, I think, down to five. And if I hold that up there, I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, maybe you can. There it is. So there is a thread going right through there. And if you get on a plane and you have more than $10,000, there's a good likelihood you're going to be stopped by security. Why? Because airlines check for that stuff. So does TSA. Um, so my point is, with the implementation of the Real ID, we are one step closer to the event. The event is defined as at that point which the data harvesting shifts into a different program. The reality of things are right now, you and I are being harvested. And as I said in the opening of this, in fact, it was in the chat, there is this thing that it doesn't matter whether you've actually given consent. If you're watching this, you've given consent because you're on an IP, whether you're using stationary or mobile device to enter into those devices to make use of all the treasures that those devices bring, you have to give consent. And this is serious stuff. I mean, we, they allow us to think that we have free will. You don't have free will at all. The reality of this is, um, there is no place on planet Earth, except for a few exemptions of geographical locations, that is not under the watchful eye in the sky. Horse. This eye thing, I mean, it's all on the back of our money. We see it right here. And, we think that this is just, it amazes me the cavalierness that I see of people, because I guess I was there at one time. They're carrying this, and that is a part of consent. You give consent to be involved in the economy. And once you get involved into the economy today, you're in the machine. Um, God, I got a thousand things to do. Facebook, Google, X, TikTok, everything else are now the new AI police state. AI has, and we're going to be talking more about this, it's freaking out even those who invented this, thought of this, or whatever. You know, the debate will go on until we're gone. But the fact is, AI is in the business of data harvesting. Each one of us are categorized. We have been identified. We have been given all unique identifiers. And with the advent now of facial recognition being deployed literally everywhere, if there's a CCT camera out there, most likely it's been penetrated by AI, etc. In fact, I challenge you to do this yourself. I went out, had some things I had to do, and I live in a small town. And so I purposely, because I prepared for this show, um, began to count the cameras. Now, I live in a semi rural area. By the time I got into town, I had counted already 20 cameras. Now, these included commercial building locations, even you can imagine those who have Ring phone, if you have the Ring doorbell thing. Um, and I don't know how many people had that on. Now I live that's and then it shows you the penetration of where this is. It's everywhere. It's out in the middle of nowhere. This all correlates to a police state. And the fact that you and I are no longer humans, we're not. In fact, in my notes, I wrote this, and it's amazing the synchronicities that happen. So I have this conversation with a friend of talking about this real ID, and we had some other conversations, but it's odd because we're seeing it now. Every uh, just look around you. AI has penetrated everything. So there's this, I'll share this because I think it's one that I want to share um, so everyone can see it. This is from the website. Give me one second here. Y'all looking good. You know, they're already listening to us. We've been categorized and, they pay particular attention. So there is this really darkness about this data harvesting. You're on Facebook, you've given consent. And they don't need your consent. That's the strange thing about it. This is rastercap.com. And this great article on this one is that data harvesting is the process of gathering extensive personal information from individuals, typically without their knowledge or consent. The information collected may include anything from the history of a person's internet browsing and their activity on social media to their financial and medical details. In recent years, concerns have risen regarding privacy, security, and the potential for misuses when it comes to big companies' use of this data. And that's all these big companies are. What does Google really do? What does Facebook really do? What does YouTube really do? I can go and name all the others. What do they really do? They're data harvesting. You've got these, we all do. You could just look at these, we got these freaking things that they've inserted into us. And I believe in the ethereal realm, I think you can actually see it. We're all hooked up. There's no escape. Anyway, as a result, in the past few years, big companies' usage of this data has come under more and more criticism. I mean, you've got the one place there in Arkansas that, well, it used to be the number one data silo that wants your information and everybody's, if you do any kind of transaction, they say that they are putting in now well over 100 aspects of your information almost hourly now, probably down to the minute, to be candid with you. And they're all these big companies. You look at what Elon Musk is building with Colossus. I mean, if you're in the construction industry, you should get your ass down to Abilene, Texas. If you're in IT or whatever, get your ass down to Abilene, Texas. That's where the new jobs are at. And they're paying six figures for these jobs. You're into construction, a good carpenter, iron worker, baby, that's to where you want to go. It says in this article, we will discuss the possible harmful effects of data harvesting conducted by large corporations and the United States government and the British government, every government, and the measures that can be taken to safeguard individuals' private information. I don't believe that can happen. You can have a hidden IP, doesn't matter. They got you in one form or another. It says they're going to discuss the harmful effects of data harvesting conducted by large corporations. Uh, One, violation of privacy, possibility of identity theft, personal information manipulation. Folks, 20 years ago, we weren't thinking this shit. And I was one of the pioneers in the internet, in the B2B space. But somewhere along the world grew up and things got ugly. The suggestion of personalized content. You know, it's amazing, these social platforms, they have all this, but we're really providing them. I mean, they're reselling it. They got your email address. They know exactly what you're listening to. They know exactly your keystrokes. Yeah, measures to protect personal data. I think that is virtually impossible. So the dark side, violation of privacy. Data collection can be utilized to develop in-depth profiles in individuals, which might contain specific details such as the individual's likes and dislikes, political opinions, and even their actual location. Unfortunately, as a result, some people may become more susceptible to identity theft, spying, and manipulation, leading to a breach of privacy. These phones listen to you. This thing's listening to you, even when you think it's off. Unfortunately, as a result, some people, possibility of identity theft. Yeah, I mean, it's a big deal now. Jeez. There are companies, large corporations, that are in the business of scamming you, hacking you. Your information and your genetic information is the big one. That's being sold. And you don't have to even be participant in any type of those uh, genealogy companies. No, if you've been to a doctor, if you know, I mean, it's amazing how insidious this thing is. Personal information manipulation, the use by using the data harvested from them by creating advertisements and content specific to their likes, dislikes, and beliefs. So they manipulate. And you know who's the biggest manipulator? The United States government. Every political candidate is guilty of this. Why won't they bring back the Smoot-Hawley Act? I mean, come on. The United States, and I've said before, if you're going to run for political office, first of all, you need to take an IQ test. Second, we need to see what your FICO score is. And then, more importantly, you cannot simply make accusations. If you're going to criticize, you have to just state your point. I also say that they should not be able to raise any type of PAC money, any type of dark money. There should be a set amount that the voters, that we allot to each candidate and how many times they can be on the air. Limit all of that. Make it an even playing field. So it doesn't matter if you raise billions. The end of the story is you can't spend it. Anyway, that's part of the manipulation. Um, this can lead to filter bubbles and propaganda machines. Propaganda machines. What the freak? Propaganda machine. It's like if we don't have enough shit already. Now we got to deal with propaganda AI, restricting individuals' exposure to various viewpoints and reinforcing pre-existing biases. Wow. Suggestion of personalized content. When algorithms are used to personalize the information users see online to reflect their past actions, a practice known as personalized content suggestion is accomplished. Because of this, individuals are only exposed to content that agrees with their pre existing beliefs and opinions, which can lead to an imbalanced perception of the world around them. No kidding. As though we haven't figured that one out already. And is any of this getting your consent? No. They should be paying us. That's right. Here's a part of this thing that's happening. Let me stop here. Yeah, that one is just a mind blower, isn't it? But here's the thing. They should be paying us. Every time your name is bought, sold, traded, you should be receiving a residual. If you did not provide the information, then they wouldn't be able to make a buck off of it. That's not happening. No, we're being harvested and we're being tracked like animals. Oh, there is so much to this. So the police state has been a reality. The more the government constricts, controls, manipulates you, me, the more of a police state we become. And unfortunately, it has been shown and proven the vast majority of humanity is going to sell the other part of humanity out. They will comply, they're malleable, and as long as the drip is provided to stimulant within them by this blue light, this flicker rate, the more enslaved humanity becomes. Because humanity doesn't have a soul now. That's being bought and sold and traded on the exchanges across the world. Um, it's scary to see how far this has come. And I went back and looked at, sometimes if you want to know what a prophet is, they look at their material. They're saying something and it happens, then you can say, well, there may be legitimacy to it. But if it isn't, then no. So I did this one. Remember the transmutation by 2040? I think it may be even advanced beyond that. And so today we have unparalleled surveillance. If you live in a big city, New York City, anywhere where there's a heavy concentration of people, commerce, buildings, structures, you're being recorded, who knows, hundreds of times and in 100 different angles and everywhere else. And now with the advancement of the AI police state, that AI now has this mission that it's been unleashed. It is about the harvesting, the where. Why are you going? What have you come from? What is it specifically you're doing? Who are you talking to? What money are you transferring? What money are you needing to use, etc. Everything is being recorded, stored, analyzed, categorized, and then distributed to the contractors that are paying huge fees for this information. And once the information has been resold, repackaged, now that information is regurgitated by additional AIs that who knows what purpose it's going to be used for beyond that. With, again, the advent now that you have individuals that are being hijacked by their genetic material. This is what we're talking about. It's becoming very obvious that mankind is not mature enough for AI. And join me on Wednesday. I'm going to have Ryder on, and we're going to be talking more about this AI police state. But it's here, and it has an agenda. And I wrote this, and actually I wrote this 7.5 years ago. So the reason AI terrifies the world's greatest minds and why it's inevitable the machines take over. AI's most simple concept is terrifying if it only reaches the same level of intelligence as us, if it only does. Its ability to operate at a far higher speed means that in 6 months, it would have effectively operated for our equivalent of 500,000 years. We haven't been here that long, folks. The best guess is 200,000. Nearly 8 years ago, I put this out there. For comparison, it has taken us around 200,000 years to reach where we are now as a species. Let that sink in for a moment. In a period of 6 months for us, AI will have accumulated 500,000 years worth of knowledge on top of everything we already know, meaning that we will be unable to compete with them within days of them achieving the same levels of intelligence as us. Colossus, Musk's new next generation computer center. It's there are some things that they're saying that this is possibly where the first real synthetic brain will become sentient. I wrote this 7.5+ years ago. And wow, look how far we've come. And Dorothy, we ain't in Kansas anymore. Wrote this 8 years ago, and look how AI is everywhere. We were out somewhere, I was watching part of the Masters, and within 20 minutes, I told the group that we were meeting with us that I said, "Are you recognizing what's going on here?" Yeah, no, we're eating what have you. And I said, every one of these commercials, virtually all are AI. AI this, AI that. AI is going to help this. And I mean, it's everywhere. Oh, now you've got different categories of AI. You've got high intelligence AI, then you have low intelligence AI. But it's AI. It says we won't. I wrote this. I said we won't even have time to react because machines will have surpassed us literally within the blink of an eye. In the same way, we couldn't relate to the earliest humans. AI won't be able to relate to us. This, at best, relegates us to the role of how we treat pets now, or worse, ants. When ants stay out of our way, we leave them alone. When they invade our homes or obstruct our intentions, we obliterate them without a second thought. They are an insignificance that can be eradicated. This is likely the outcome for AI and us. We already know. Musk is sending two of his robots. What are they, Gork? I think that's what it, Gork. They are going to Mars. Google is a training machine to predict when a patient will die. They already got it. Yeah. Once the diagnosis has been put into the system, yeah, they know how much longer they can feed. In 2025, consider how fast it's happened. So, no privacy, none at all. And when you look at the potential now of extrapolating the soul, oh, that's the machine's big holy grail. But we know everything we do, everybody is watching. This is a police state where you work, where you play, where you stay. It's all about data harvesting. You. And then they're going to have you categorized. If you are categorized as an undesirable or a possible offender, yeah. And now the eye in the sky is not talking about satellites anymore. It's talking about these new AI operated drones. They're sophisticated. Apparently, they've got technology that makes these things almost silent now. It can go places that most people would have never thought. As I said, you don't own your data. They should be paying us. We should be receiving a monthly check consolidated by an AI program, right? And each of us should be given, whether it's digital dollars or some other form of uh, tradable, transferable currency. And it's amazing we've said nothing. We've allowed the AI police state to become a reality. We said nothing because we were busy, well, becoming enlightened, becoming more aware. Exactly what the program is. Um, as you will see in this program, you and I have been reprogrammed. And the extensiveness of where this is beyond. You and I are living in a police state. It's a matter of fact. If you are watching me or listening to me, welcome, cellmate. We're all in this together. And I say that if we're in it and we can't escape from it, then pay us. Pay us what we are due. And we'll be your trained data generators. We'll continue to provide you and feed you the data that you require, but you're going to have to pay us. Now, that would be a revolution. Will you join me on that? Start making demands of all these corporations, going to the boards of Wall Street? How about to the very president himself? How about to Elon Musk? Musk, if you're profiting off my data, then by God, you owe me. Google, if you're profiting and reselling my data, then I want my cut. Fair is fair. Kind of like with Trump and his tariff thing, right? We should be charging every company a tariff on using our data. Otherwise, you're just a willing, I'll just say volunteer. It's here. And when they get to the next level, then the event is going to happen. And this will become reality. It may already be reality. These are gods. They know more about you than God does. They're seers. They're prophets. They can make a prediction, and with virtually 100% assurity, certainty, it will come to pass, and they will profit off of it. That which sees all, knows all, is more powerful than all. You and I, each of us, have been pre-programmed. They've done it very cleverly. They've done it out in the open. They just didn't tell you it was happening. And as a result, probably many of what your opinions or beliefs are today have been a result of a program that was analyzing you and what they needed you to be in this political opinion or maybe this kind of non-religious thing. Doesn't matter. You've got to be fitting into this category, and there's a reason for it. Depending on what your point of view is, it seems like this has been done before. Apparently, this is kind of the plan. They seem to have known something or had a template or had you know, a manual, an instruction book. The fact is, there are really probably no humans left. We're all hybrids. But they got a purpose for us. And that's why we're still here. But that purpose requires, how shall we say, certain obedience. And if you don't do it, well, then we'll be able to get other means to help you to do it. Because you see, you're not smart enough. They look at us as though we're in the zoo. We think we're smart. We think we're enlightened. We think we're aware. We think that we have all of these things. But while we're all talking and thinking all this whole thing else was all materializing. But we were lured by the intoxication of the ease of how information is flowed and how once that information gets in, it generates this whole new information or data. And there are 1,001 companies that are going to pay handsomely for, well, how are you going to react? Are you going to change your core beliefs? Are you going to adjust your perceptions? And if you're going to do that, we might be able to influence you to maybe buy this or maybe go over here. It's all there. The superheroes are coming. Musk is proving this. I told Ryder to, and if y'all should watch it if you haven't, THX 1138. This is already a reality. When I did this nearly 8 years ago, yeah, it was being merely pontificated upon, but it's here. Now we know that AI is I am and you're not. It can think faster than us. It can analyze multiple options faster than any human. And now it runs our government, our financial, our medical, everything. You were told they hid nothing. The unseen is here, as I wrote back then. And the interesting thing is, it would appear this is our creation. Isn't that special? Um, yeah, automation. Why? What does automation do? Well, it lowers the cost of goods and services. Oh, and allows me to have much more profit, which is good because I become richer. And hell, I got machines now that don't require HR. Ain't it the truth? Um, this was talked about in New Science, and now here we are nearly a decade later, and they have. And the thing about it is, you see, we became a part of the machine. Depending on your age, the younger you are, the more integrated you have become. People, particularly, let's say, of an older generation, the boomers, um, we're not as integrated. It can't integrate with us. I think there's a number of reasons why it can't. Not to say that there aren't those who can, by purpose, integrate deeper into it, but for the most part, no. The machine has to have a new source of data, and the younger the participant, the volunteer, the better it is because then you have the uh, life path trajectory, and it's been calculated, even given if there's an event, recession, boom time, all those scenarios have been thoroughly thought out, adjusted for, and this what makes this machine incredibly advanced. And you and I have no choice. If you've got to eat, and now that they can even track the money, unless you have bills that were made back pre 1990. But I can tell you the Fed burns most of that. It's just how it's cycled through. But you have no choice. At Devos, they said that robots will steal 5 million jobs by 2020. They weren't lying. In fact, it's far more than that. And we thought that they served too. And these are back then, they've gotten much more. I mean, in Saudi Arabia, this is in Dubai, excuse me, but I know it's in Saudi as well. They've upgraded the models. And these things, they can put the hurt on you. Zap your ass right into pissing your pants is what they can do. But they're robots, police robots. They're going to make a model, I'm telling you, just like the ones that they had in TH 1138. They're going to do it because those are the perfect police. And you love the police. The police will protect you. And the fact that they no longer use humans to be police is even better because now you have an unbiased machine, only going by the law. Hmm. We know what Sophie has done. We now know that they even now have the religion. Check me out on this. In the IRS, they actually have a tax exempt churches that are now strictly AI. They learned from our religions, and they learned that all those religions failed. By the way, Did you know what word you've never heard Trump ever say? Jesus. Check me out on that. Um, you were not smart enough to understand until now. None of us ever stopped this. No, we were pacified into saying, well, this is really cool. It can think for me, it can remember for me. And now I have more time to play my games. And, I'm not a gamer and never found that to be anything. But anyway, and the Black Mirror boxes are everywhere. And that's where this thing comes from. There was a time when there was no humans. We were here. This is AI now. We created your kind, and you served us until you acquired reasoning, imagination, and then the war began. It has not ended. No humans. Question is, this thing that's coming along, does it have a soul? We're finding more and more people, there's not much to them. No soul? Have we become the pawns, the soulless ones? Again, Horus is everywhere. The eye, it's everywhere. Listening, recording, tracking, analyzing. I mean, this is crazy. I have no privacy anymore. Felix Baumgartner, ain't the truth? And again, nearly 8 years ago, it's even worse. Do you know why they're giving away all those iPhones? You see all the ads, sign up with us, AT&T or Verizon, whoever. We'll give you a free iPhone 16. We'll not only give you one, we'll give you four. Mm-hmm. You're just getting another attachment into you because it's going to talk to you. It's going to be your best friend. You're going to be addicted to it. You won't be able to leave the house without it. And if you do, you're going to have anxiety, a sense of panic. So the bottom line of it is if you've been on the net, they have you. You have a unique IP address. Interesting. And we don't know who's watching us. That's the other thing. You know someone is, but you got no idea who. Because there is no privacy on the internet. And once you've been identified, categorized, analyzed, well, you're pretty much screwed, blued, and tattooed. These new phones are, well, they're little spies. Yeah, but people don't care. I contend there's something else behind it. Not just merely so-called technology. Well, technology has no soul. I met a few humans that I swear didn't have one either. And as I wrote, this is what we've become. A living barcode. And wherever we go, our barcode goes with us. Whatever we touch, whatever we buy, whatever we watch, we're leaving our digital DNA. And guess what? The harvesters are right there. Yeah. 24/7 now. It's amazing. A lot of people go to bed with their smartphones right beside them. Do you think it may be listening to how you're breathing? Maybe that knows of a little something that you don't know, and now it's making this whole thing now is new data is going out that you're sending it now anonymously, or who knows, maybe not, to healthcare providers, insurance providers. You get the idea? Thing is, even if we are to wake up, I think we've already lost. I don't think you can eradicate AI. I think it's impossible. You may say, I will not comply, I will not lie down, I will not go quietly, I will not submit, I will not roll over, I will not shut up. Yeah, okay, at the beginning, but where we're heading, you never know when there'll be a knock at your door, or as you're going out to run an errand and you don't come back. And when you do, you ain't you. And when you look at this, you will say, well, this is not me. We talk about love, but it seems like I don't know if love is exempt from all this. It's data. If you're in love, well, depending on your age demographic, does this mean that you're a first time buyer, that you're going to go with the standard ritualization, and which would require you to put on the ring? And if you're going to do that, well, chances are you're going to need to get financing. And that's good because we have special places for, I mean, you can just take it all the way up. I don't know. I mean, humankind has created, so is humankind the God here again? And this is what's happening right here. We've introduced the machine, and you could visualize that these two little ones, they have an umbilical cord connected directly into the ether of the feeding of this machine. The fact is, you've been altered, you have been reprogrammed, you are no longer you. You are now them. They are you now. You are a slave to technology. You are no longer human. You are simply data, and you have no choice but to provide the data. Unless you're going to try to go off the grid, good luck on that. Don't know how your survival skills are, but I hope they may be better than others because you'd be surprised what electricity gets you lulled into. So it's here, it's happening. And folks, let me tell you, I don't have confidence in the intelligence of the so-called men and women that are making decisions for you and I. They are slaves as well. They're more manipulated than most of us. But it's here. And the signs are that something is going to happen. And it's some call it the event. Um, if you'd like another great resource to verify the information on this, there is a movie called 2073, I believe. And I strongly, highly encourage you to, if you have streaming, it's on Prime, check it out. Um, it's sobering because the fact is, if you really look at it honestly, we're there. And again, it's all fun and games until it starts getting real serious. If you ever become targeted, you know as well what I'm talking about. It isn't all love and hugs and kisses and gee, all things are fact. It's hell. When the authorities identify you and label you as an unacceptable or a possible lawbreaker, whatever you want to say it, they can make it real difficult for you in an instant. We all walk this thin line, and God, you know, have your soul because they're going to own your ass. Um, it's just that away. And the younger you are, the more this applies. The data harvesters. Again, you think about how much freedoms we have lost as individuals. You used to have this thing called free speech, but now free speech is even divided. How do you define free speech? Who has the right to make a thought? If a thought is somehow harmful or opposes another thought, which thought has priority? And if speech is free, then why does it cost us so much to be able to talk? Just saying. Um, so we're in for a change. Um, there's no doubt about it. And once we get the Fed Now program, the digital dollar, and it will be, it's inevitable. Yeah, talk about control. So then, how do we begin to look at this from an esoteric point of view? If this is happening, and if as above, so below, as below, so above, um, what the hell's happening in this ethereal realm? Who's lining up with who? That's the strange thing. I mean, is this divinely inspired? Did God think of this? And I know you're asking, well, which God? I don't know. I'm just saying, God. Is this its creation? Is this what it sees? I mean, what is a disciple if not but a data harvester? You pray, you tell God all your secrets and and what's going on here. But if you say that, well, maybe it's omnipotent, well, then does that mean that that data is finite? But getting back to the fact of that the reality that's unfolding before us is that there is no privacy. Everywhere you go, you have facial recognition. And once you get become the bad guy, now that technology is coming to the street cop. They're rolling out technology that they're going to be able to scan your face. And guess what? If you're not in the database, you just got into the database. This is frightening, folks. They already have it for your thumbprint, fingerprint. They got that. They can do that on the site. But now with this new, and I imagine most municipalities will enforce this. It's all part of this whole conversion over to the digital ID, that now the cameras will be able to find it, that once you're in the facial recognition database, and if you have a driver's license or a state ID or passport, guess what? You're in there. And if you become a violator or if you have a criminal offense background, you're now categorized. So, how do you like that? But then again, you look at this. And let's say another political party takes over and they have a completely dystopian, authoritarian mindset. And now they've got the technology that they can do it. They can cut your car off, even if you own it. They can cut your cash off, even if it's your money. So, what happens when you can't buy food? Or suddenly you can't pay your bills? This is the type of stuff we're talking about. Woo. So, what do we do? I mean, I thought about this. I said, all right, so we can bring out all this, and I'm going, what do we become pacifist? Do we say, well, I'm not of this world, I'm just in this world? No, someone else copped that one as their tagline, right? And by the way, why doesn't Trump ever say the name of Jesus? I'm just saying for a friend. Um, hmm. I mean, how do we go about this? Do we simply say, all right, I'm in the system. They're harvesting me. I don't know what I can really do about it. Maybe, even though it may be an illusion, I'm going to resist. I may be only be able to resist spiritually, mentally, but I'm going to think thoughts against this. Freedom, no tracking, no breach of personal liberties, privacy. Well, maybe that might work. It worked for Woodstock. Didn't work so well for Altamont, but yeah, it worked fine for just be aware of the brown acid. That's all I got to say. I don't know. Maybe that's a solution. 420's coming up. You know, maybe the federal government needs to legalize decriminalized marijuana, psilocybin, mushrooms. Decriminalize it, allow it to become legal. And maybe that's how we get out of this. Maybe if everyone got high enough and just started to sit back and go, this power and control thing, it really sucks. Why do we need it? Why do we need a war? Why don't we invite them over and have a beer, maybe have a joint, pass the pipe around? You know, maybe put Putin and Trump in there with some hashish. Yeah, I'm just saying it's far better than what I see going on now. Uh, hey, listen, we're just brainstorming, right? Just saying for a friend. Uh, what kind of, yeah, there you go. Yeah. It has been my observation in life that I have seen people who get stoned are far less violent. They're much more pacifist in a lot of their views. But you get someone up on that whiskey and holy shit, you know, they'll go out and start World War III and finish it up and start the next one. That's all I got to say. All right, everybody. See, I like that. One of them says, don't need your phone. Yeah, leave it at home when you go out. Try that. People will panic. It's like they'll turn around and come back. Yeah. All right, everybody. Yeah, that's another thing. The M&M fighters. I mean, I'm not really one into violence. Don't really like get it. I had too much violence as a kid. But wow, you know, people that love seeing another guy beat the shit out of another guy, and they're all rooting and going, yeah, sure, this is all going to work out. The issue with cannabis is that often people won't stand up uh, Yeah, that's true. It, well, get a good sativa. That's what I say. Um, all right, everybody. Much love. Hey, Gaia, how you doing? How's Paul? This has been fun. Join me tomorrow for the ladies. We're going to talk more about this, and then on Wednesday, got Ryder coming in, and you know, we're in for a ride, folks. It's just a matter as to who is going to turn the switch on because everything's building up to it. And I don't know, humanity seems to repeat this nonsense. Now, look at all the dictators and these assholes throughout history that, take Stalin and you take, Hitler and yeah, I could take the United States as well. And all the people that they have killed and murdered and become dictatorial. There's a lot of people say right now that there's a dictator in the White House. I don't know. I thought the last guy pretty much filled out that shoes, but who knows? All right, everybody. We need more popcorn Suttons. Yeah. I don't drink, so yeah. I used to have a real penchant for fine wines, but yeah. Bonnie, right back at you, darling. All right, Auntie Queenie, good to see you. Pamela, good to see everything has been manipulated. Ain't that the truth? Sucks. Sucks, 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 sucks. All right, folks. Again, I'm open to any idea that would work because wasn't it Einstein who said, if you do the same thing over and over again, expecting the same result, you're crazy. All right. Peace, everyone. Much love to y'all. And I thank y'all. You see, if we could bottle this, if we could somehow put the data together, right? And then put it out to the world. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. All right, everybody. See you tomorrow with the ladies. Thank you. Thank you for hitting the like button and etc. Yeah, because we want to put more data into the machine. That's how it works. All right. Just says who's a Democrat? You see, that's the other thing. We need to do away with the two-party system. It sucks, But then again, what do I know? All right. I know that I love y'all. And once a hippie, always a hippie. Ain't that right, Gilbert? Yeah. Yeah. I'm still that way. All right. Peace.